Say, kids, what time is it?
Boy, somebody was almost late for school.
Traffic.
Great timing, though.
Hold on, I had to do my hair.
Yeah, much better, Bruce. Much better.
Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Dodger Blue.
Oh boy, yeah, big week in sports. Before we get into the football,
Oh yeah.
we had baseball playoffs. Hockey season started. My favorite sport.
Okay.
Yeah, just good stuff all around. Although the Penguins,
Go
they,
Nighthawks.
they shit all over themselves in the home opener.
Oh, they did?
Oh, they got beat 6-0
Holy cow.
to the Rangers. It was just awful.
Who's your team in hockey, Edson?
The
What?
Penguins are old and slow.
Edson, who's your team in hockey?
I mean, I haven't really followed closely for a while. It used to be the Flyers, but I don't know how well they're doing.
Oh, they beat the Canucks last night.
Okay, well maybe maybe this will be the year to jump back in closely again. There's this guy I'm almost like I don't know if you have best friends at work or whatever, but this guy at work he's that's all he is hockey, and he loves the Bruins. So, but that's his life. His whole life is surrounded about hockey.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Well, I think my favorite hockey team of all time is this little-known team that was inspired by the movie Slapshot. It was a Middlesex Community College deck hockey team that played back in 1993, and they had no direction, no purpose, but we just beat the hell out of people. And our coach was the mighty Keith Larson. He was just amazing.
I will not take credit for that winless year. It was a collection of misfits, and it was you got that email, I guess. Then
yes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, where the hell did that come from?
I know someone's looking for one of the jerseys we had.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cow.
someone wants the jersey because they're doing some kind of a video documentary on
Oh wow,
sports at that community college, which was few and far between, and our deck hockey team is legendary.
As long as you had fun.
In our minds, no one else's minds.
We had cool uniforms. We had cool uniforms.
Yes, we did.
So
I think
anyway, enough about other sports.
Keith, you were in your Vancouver Canucks phase, and you're like, "Oh, we gotta do Pavel Bure. We gotta do this."
They're still my secondary team. I love the Canucks. See, yeah, I decided in the 80s when they were awful. I'm like, I'm gonna say I like them now. So when they get good someday, I'll say, oh, I like them when they suck.
Good idea.
Yeah. And I just ended up really actually getting into the team. So yeah, Pavel Bure was a monster back then.
Oh yeah, that was your boy.
Kirk McLean, the goalie. Yeah, they had a good team. I mean, they came within 2. They hit the pipe twice in Game 7 against the Rangers. They would have won the cup. That was great.
Yeah. I remember those days very well.
But anyway, we got the Tigers and the Indians later today, or Guardians. Much like Washington.
Right.
They're still the Cleveland Indians, and I really want to see Detroit. I want to see Detroit.
So do I.
But we got LA and the Mets. We might end up with LA, New York at the end of all this.
Detroit's like, can we play, please?
The Dodgers might have to go through both New York teams to win this.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
because the Yankees are in. Everyone's in except whatever happens today.
Right.
So,
Right.
let's go Tigers. I'd love to see Tigers Yankees. So I love watching Detroit. The Tigers play. They're so scrappy and they're fun to watch.
Oh my gosh.
I
I
like
can't believe
them.
how
I
good they
love their old school uniforms. They're
So do
so
I.
basic. That's
They-
why I
like,
like them.
Great vibe, and I love at Comerica Park. They have the path that goes from the mound to the plate, down the dirt path that goes straight to home plate. Just
Used to be like that.
cool.
Used to be like that for Phoenix. I mean, for the Arizona Diamondbacks back in the day.
Yeah, I like that. That's what the old stadiums used to look like. All right, enough
Have you
about
always like
baseball.
the Dodgers, Bruce?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he's a front runner. You kidding me?
Oh, okay.
You remember I told you where I work? You will be seen soon.
Well, I'll be a Dodgers fan at least for the next series.
Oh no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, if he's as good as his picks, his NFL picks, you actually want
Let's
him.
hope.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
where do you want to start? Do you want to start with week 5?
Yes, please.
Because I have a little game I want to play with you guys
boy.
before we hang
Yeah,
out.
I'm scared of that
I'm
too.
worried about this.
We'll play this word association game I'm
Oh,
lifting from
gosh.
Joe Starkey. It's fun. I'm just going to
Okay.
say something about each team and just one word answer or one sentence. No elaboration. No going, here's why and this and that.
Okay.
Just
Wow.
yes, no, true, false, that kind of thing.
As Marion Barry said, I've been sat up. Please continue, Rashida.
All right, let's get into week number 5, shall we? So, actually, you know what? Let's do a different view. Let's do this one. Just because I'm going to change it up a little bit. How did everybody do last week? Let's start.
I didn't do too good.
All right, Edson, why don't you tell us what you did?
3-2.
3-2, which brings you to 15-9 overall. Aren't you fancy?
It's amazing. Like the two picks that I had the most confidence in, those are losses. The other ones that were shaky, those ones.
I mean, was it Seattle was one of them?
Yeah,
right?
I had Seattle had no business losing that game.
And Miami? Was it Miami?
No, that was actually a shaky pick. It was San Francisco losing at the last minute to the
Oh yeah,
Cardinals.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it.
Bruce, I'm going to save you for last because you were bragging on text last night. So I'm going to go mine. I was 3-2 as well. That brings me to 12-12, up to 500. So look out in your rearview mirror, Edson. It's a new season. Bruce, why don't you tell the audience how you did?
Don't call it a comeback. Oh, sorry. Sorry. LL Cool J reference. Right now, I came this close to going 5-0, but I went 4-1.
4-1, which also brings you to 12-12.
Wait a minute, which one was the loss?
The damn Steelers.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry.
That hurt.
that was close. A 4th down play. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Tell me when Landon Roberts hit what was that? What's that running back's name? I keep forgetting his name. Nailed him on the goal line.
Oh yeah.
Flying. I mean, that was like a Troy Polamalu missile, like
Yep.
Roberts hit him so hard. And of course the ball has to bounce right to Dak Prescott, the only Cowboy standing there.
Yep.
And then how do you let a guy on one leg catch that pass on 4th down?
Yeah.
Didn't okay, I want to get this in my head straight. Didn't oh gosh, why am I forgetting the Steelers coach here? Didn't they call timeout after that play?
Yeah.
After he got injured, and it gave him the opportunity to come back in because he was going to miss the next play.
Yes.
That's kind of funny.
Yes. Yeah. Mike Tomlin kills me.
Tomlin, there he goes. Jeez, I killed
his clock management at the end of games is not great. Never is great. I sometimes he leaves timeouts in his pocket. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago they ran out of time. That, of course, a lot of that had to do with Chase Claypool acting like a dimwit. But yeah. So anyway, my losses were the Steelers and the Saints. I actually believed that the Saints could pick off the hapless Chiefs, and Juju Smith-Schuster decides to show up for the first time in 4 years.
Another one.
Oh, God, they just keep pulling them out. So
I don't know. It's crazy. That's why they play the game.
That's why they play the games.
Yep.
So let's start off. We got the Vikings taking out the Jets in the UK, and that leads to the story of the week, which is Robert Saleh. I texted you from the airport, Edson. I was in Dallas, and I said, "Oh my God, they just canned Robert
I
Saleh."
couldn't believe it.
And at first, I thought that was all on Aaron Rodgers because of their relationship looked strained to begin with, but he's vehemently denying it, and apparently. It was just all Woody Johnson. He just cleaned house. And then the new guy he brought in, the assistant coach, Ulrich,
Yeah.
Right.
immediately demoted the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, got rid of Hackett. Yeah, he did something with Hackett. Yeah.
Basically was going to fire him, but Hackett knows that no one's going to hire him. So he groveled and took whatever position they offered him to stay on the team.
Plus Roger likes him. Oh,
Rogers likes him. But immediately I thought Rodgers was behind this until that happened. And then I'm like, okay, that's not what happened, because if Rodgers got rid of Saleh, Hackett would have been protected.
Mm.
Yep.
And the fact that Hackett was removed from his duties as well tells me right there that maybe this was all from ownership, and timing of it's terrible, but
5 games in, it's not good. It's not a good look at all.
That Hackett demotion was the only thing that made sense.
Right.
This whole thing.
Well, that's my immediate reaction when Saleh got fired. I said they fired the wrong guy. The problem is
right.
Yeah.
Well, back in his wildest dreams, with Saleh being gone, Rodgers probably turned to Hackett and said, "Hey, guess what? They like you. They're gonna put you up to the top job." I know it's not possible, but Rodgers is probably in his darkness retreat mind was probably thinking that.
I don't understand. I mean, Hackett has proven, especially when he went to Denver, that he's not a good football coach.
Right.
He's not even a good coordinator.
Right.
I mean, that offense has a lot of weapons, and they look like they did when they had Zach Wilson in there. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not having a good year. I think he's ranked like 28th right now, or 27th in the league as a passer. That's weak for the money they're paying. We'll get to that later, but I think Aaron Rodgers has kind of hit his expiration date. He kind of looks. It reminds me when Brett Favre went to the Jets.
Yeah.
And he'll occasionally look like his former self, but he can't consistently do it anymore. Age has caught up with him.
Right.
Like Babe Ruth at the end. Babe Ruth could have a 3 home run game, but then go 2 weeks without a base hit. That kind of thing.
Were you there when those things happened, Keith?
Yes, Bruce. I remember sitting just behind the first base bag when Babe Ruth hit into 4 double plays in one game. No, I didn't.
Babe Ruth played by John.
I was wearing my fedora and my suit, and it was a hot day. But
that's the only thing you remember. It was a hot day.
Bears Panthers. Caleb Williams looks pretty darn good.
He's starting to warm up.
Finding his footing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's finally, now that people have they raise the expectations so high. This is the way it should be, like a little bit, improvement week by week. You don't just put them in the Hall of Fame in week 1. It's like, then it's crazy. But
it's rare that happens, where you get a Stroud or a Jaden Daniels, where right out of the gate, boom.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. We'll see what happens going forward. But Bears look like they actually could compete for a wild card at this point in time.
Right.
The game of the week, and we got to talk about clock management and play calling. Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Cannot believe that Cincinnati blew this game.
Joe Burrow has 5 touchdown passes in the game, and they decide to run the ball 3 times on their last series and kick like a 57-yard or 58-yard field goal. Like, that's your strategy. Didn't they do this week 1? They did the same thing. They tried like a 50-yard field goal and lost. I think Zach Taylor's a good coach, but these kind of decisions are ones that get you in trouble. His seat, I think they're turning up the temperature on his seat right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your quarterback has a game for the ages, 5 touchdown passes, and you take the ball out of his hands with the game on the line.
It made no sense, and not just that. He's been doing that week to week. Take away the New England game week 1, but he's been doing that every game since then. So you should have full confidence if the past seasons didn't give you confidence.
It's unexplainable to me. And you've got a divisional opponent who's probably, arguably, we all picked them 1 or 2 as the power rankings last week. Hottest league right now. Why would you give Lamar Jackson the ball back?
Jeez.
I have 2 remarks about that game. I want you guys, since 3 of us know football really, really well, we're looking for the intricacies of the game. Did you notice for that field goal, the holder had to spin the ball and he couldn't spin the ball around?
Yeah, the holder dropped the. Yeah.
Did you notice how sunken in that turf is?
Oh,
it was like a carpet. It was like he put the ball down, the ball just went, it went right down into the turf. It was like, it looked really, really weird to me.
And they have that poly turf with the rubber pellets that, that's a fake grass in Cincinnati.
That was one thing I looked at, but I'll tell you, Derrick Henry just looks at the game. Derrick Henry just looks at the game and says, "All right, you need me now? Okay, cool. 57 yards.
Perfect, Bruce. Because he struggled most of the game, and then he gets that.
And then, that's what he does.
Breaks a 50-something yarder to seal the game, right? Yeah.
Right.
That's the kind of weapon he is, which is why. Why do you have to go to Baltimore? It's like the perfect situation for him. God damn it.
I'm sure quite a few teams are probably saying the same thing.
Now, the next game had me sweating a little bit because at the beginning I was going, I called Houston by multiple scores. They're blowing Buffalo out. And then Nico Collins gets hurt and the offense goes into sputter mode and the Bills claw their way back. And but do you think Josh Allen's concussed? Because what was he, 9 for 30?
That was 9 for 30. So bad.
9 for 30.
God. Yeah. I mean, he got his bell rung, and he should not. I don't think he should have gone back out there.
That's the way. I mean, this is the type of stuff that happens when you consistently go out and. I mean, I know he wants to do it, but have him plays that put him in this type of situation. You know you're not going to go through the whole season without getting hit like that. It's like, this is the NFL. It's not high school.
Well, it shows their reliance on him because they have a serious lack of weapons right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and their reluctance to pull him. I mean, you pull him, you're putting in Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
And we saw 2 years in Pittsburgh what Mitch Trubisky brings. But this is one of those things where the league says they're concerned about player safety and all this kind of stuff. But when it's a superstar, they kind of bend those rules a little bit, right? They turn away. And, that's we talk about Tua all the time. This could affect Josh Allen down the road. He shouldn't have been gone back out there. It was obvious he was concussed. He was wobbling.
Yeah, I don't think something happened there where either they didn't give him the right test or they kind of just like, it's okay.
It was close enough, right?
Yeah, good enough. And of course, I'm sure he would have advocated to go back. I mean, but you never leave that.
He didn't want to
leave it in his hands. I mean, geez, that's stupid.
He was fighting. He didn't want to come off the field.
Right.
They had to tear him off the field. I remember even the announcers were like, is he going to leave or is he not? And then they finally pulled him off the field and put him in the blue tent. And then he came right back. But, he was way out of whack, which should tell you right there he's not seeing things right or feeling.
I have a crazy comparison. I mean, opposite comparison. You have one guy that might be concussed fighting to stay in the game. Okay. Then you have Deshaun Watson who just walks off the field.
Oh, hangnail. Put me on IL. Yeah, the brownies are coming up. We'll have fun with the brownies.
Yeah.
Colts and Jaguars in the Battle of Cellar Dwellers. Joe Flacco got the start, played well again.
Yep.
He always does. He always
Trevor
does.
Lawrence finally pulled one out of his you know what.
Yeah, it's he's kind of a mystery. It's like you saw no sign of who he is as a quarterback all season long, and then all of a sudden it just clicked in. It's almost like he needed the Colts to like reboot. I guess I don't know what's going on with him.
I don't know.
But
Flacco
this
like
was the first
ultimate.
time this season that he looked like you know,
A number one draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flacco's the ultimate backup. He is. He was like, oh, playbook? Who knows no stinking playbook? I know what to do.
I would argue he could still start in this league. He's better than a lot of starting.
Oh yeah, he could
in this league. As a Steelers fan, I'd much rather have Joe Flacco than either of our quarterbacks right now. Justin Fields is playing all right. He didn't play well against Dallas at all, but I also blame a lot of that on the OC. But that's the last game on the thing. Miami and the Patriots. Edson, did anybody watch this complete slog of a game? I mean,
even I couldn't watch the whole thing, but it's like it was definitely a cure for insomnia. I'll say that if you want to look for take a nap during the middle of the day, it was like, and the Dolphins did everything they could do
to give it away.
It's just I want to get out of here. Just get this over with, take the game, and so I can go back home. I don't know why they want to go back home with the way things are happening, but and they did everything they could, and then they just made one play, and that was it. I couldn't believe it.
Well, and the Patriots almost made one play, but they were much like the Ravens in Week 1. It was weird because I always thought 2 toes in and you're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he catches the ball, he gets his toe down, but the heel comes down on the end zone line, and then it's not a touchdown.
Right.
Because otherwise Miami loses that game.
Yep. And I think they should have lost that game.
And I'm sorry. I think 2 toes down. If he's facing the other way and gets 2 toes down and then falls out of bounds, a touchdown. He's backwards. It just some of these rules. It reminds me of that Calvin Johnson catch years ago.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that was one hand, and when he came down and hit the ground, it popped out, and they said no. But he had it with 2 feet down. He had control of it. He was squeezing it with one hand. It's just when he fell, it popped out, and they ruled it no catch. And it's so inconsistent in the NFL how they rule these things. And if Miami could have benefited from that loss actually, because then they can they've got to go for a high draft pick at this point because they got to replace their quarterback down the road.
That's true.
I mean, whether Tua comes back or not, what's his shelf life? 2-3 more seasons at the most, like a couple more games. Gone. They've got to prepare for the future. They got to draft somebody else.
And he's relatively young, isn't he? He's like his mid to late 20s.
Oh yeah, he's only in his 4th or 5th year in the league.
Yeah, I think this is 5th year. Yeah,
but he's a ticking time bomb, and it's they got to think beyond him at this point. So, all right, the other game of the week.
The other game.
I love this for 2 reasons. The Browns gonna Browns, and Jaden Daniels is freaking awesome. He's just awesome. I love watching this kid play.
And this is not the Browns still have a good defense, so it's not like it was an easy thing to do well against the Browns. This was a good test for him. I mean, obviously the Browns offense isn't giving them much of a chance, so he probably has quite a lot of opportunities. But again, this is a defense that puts a lot of pressure on you, and he's able to evade that and make the play. So he keeps showing week after week that he's the real deal.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how good this kid is playing, and I just want to bring this up. Let me move it over here. So here's what Deshaun Watson has brought to Cleveland so far. 60% completion rating. He's only thrown for 1,967 yards. Look at what Baker's thrown for. This is since they swapped teams. Baker's thrown for 5,200 yards in Tampa and Carolina combined. With the 39 touchdowns versus 12 picks for Mayfield, only 7 for Watson. That doesn't seem right. 7.
Yeah, because it's suspension. Put that in there also.
Well, it says 11 total games, right?
Right.
But still, under 2,000 yards in 11 games.
11 games.
That's
12 touchdowns in 11 games. Yeah.
Geez.
Look at the rushing attempts too. 51 for 273. Yeah, this is not what you signed up for if you're Cleveland. So, color me tickled pink. I love it because he counts $73 million against the cap next year.
Wow.
And in 2026.
No way.
If they get rid of him, they still got to pay him. It's a guaranteed 200 and whatever, 225, whatever they gave him. They're going to be cash strapped. They're not going to be able to sign free agents. They're screwed. And we got the trade deadline coming up. We'll save that for another next week's show or the week after. But I want to start looking at people who might be moved. You might see Amari Cooper move out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in Cleveland's defense, Nick Chubb is still missing. And if you get Nick Chubb back, that could change the offense quite a bit.
That's true.
More ball control.
But you also wonder how much longer are some of these players going to be into playing for Cleveland when they keep seeing this, especially on the defense, like Myles Garrett. How much more are we going to see him give? The 110% that he always does if he sees the situation keep going.
I agree.
I don't know.
That's good. That's a very good point. I never thought about that. That's a valid point.
Crazy.
When people start lack of motivation, why go out there and get the crap beat out of you when there's no progress being made? And to me, Watson, his body language, what he says he just comes off to me as a guy, he knows he's getting paid no matter what happens.
Yep.
And he's not going to go out there and put his body on the line. He doesn't care. He looks like he doesn't care.
Well, his coach said it all when he was walking toward him. His coach is like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah. Jameis Winston's waiting in the wings, and Jameis is going to be hungry to prove himself.
Yeah, for crab legs. That's the only thing he's hungry for.
If they have one more clunker of a game and Watson shows complete indifference as to his effort, they're going to have to make a switch, money or no money. This is such a poorly. I mean, you think the Jets are a poorly run organization? Cleveland takes the cake, baby.
Yeah,
they have replaced the Lions as the laughing stock of the NFL.
And you're right. You're right about Jameis Winston. He will be hungry because this will be maybe his last opportunity to show the rest of the NFL. Look, I can still do something for you, even if Cleveland doesn't want to keep him ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, and who's to say when Chubb comes back, he's going to be the Nick Chubb we remember? I mean, his knee was mangled. He might not be, or it might take him a whole extra year to get back to.
Yep.
So a lot of the offense, it's going to hinge on the quarterback making plays, and that's where Winston can shine. He does throw a lot of interceptions, but he's a dynamic player. I think he brings more to the table than Watson. So,
if you guys remember correctly, Watson was like Mr. Everything in college football.
Yeah.
Clemson. And he was great in Houston. I think his off the field problems and this guaranteed contract have made him soft and indifferent.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Should have never guaranteed any money to this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Should have made him earn it. So we'll see. But quickly about the Commanders or the Redskins or the Commando Skins, whatever you want to call them. The Commando Skins football team. Jaden Daniels, tell me he doesn't look like the new sleek version of Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah.
He hates that comparison too.
I know, but
although I'd say he's a more accurate passer than Lamar to this point. But
at this point of his career, yeah, for sure, he is a lot more accurate.
But his frame, his physical frame, his ability to run, and he's got a cannon for an arm. So does Lamar, but I think Jaden's a little more accurate.
Yeah. Plus, Lamar at the beginning, I remember he used to always look for reasons to run, but Jaden, that's not his first choice.
You're
He
right.
wants to be a quarter. He wants to look at his progressions, and then if he feels the pressure, he'll run. But
What's amazing watching this kid is he goes through the progressions like he's a 10-year veteran.
Yeah,
He's played 5 games in this league. He's just like Stroud last year. It's just amazing to watch. It's fun to watch, and it's good for the league. These kind of young, exciting quarterbacks that come in and play like veterans are just it's astounding. Speaking of young quarterbacks that played like veterans, Bo Nix, baby.
that was one of my surprises this week, how the Broncos didn't just slog it out. I expected like a 16-13 game, but because it was divisional on top of that, but their offense is now waking up, and maybe Sean Payton is doing well for this kid.
The only thing I like about that game is Denver went back old school. Those uniforms.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
like those uniforms, the old school uniforms.
So do I. Like I said it like 2 weeks ago. Please go back. These teams need to go back to these uniforms. Patriots, get the guy on the helmet snapping the ball.
Yeah.
The Seahawks Thursday night wore their 70s uniforms again. Those are awesome. Denver, I'm with you guys. For me and Bruce, our teams have had, and actually your team, Miami, we've all had the same uniforms pretty much forever.
That's true.
But Miami should go back to their 70s.
Yeah, I'd love to
with
see
the
that.
smiley dolphin with the helmet on.
I'd love that.
That weird, sleek looking thing.
I mean, you talk about the Patriots uniforms. I have just such a bad memory. This is going back. Joe Washington for the Colts played against the Patriots that rainy night in Foxborough. And I just remember the 50-yard line, this great big Patriot insignia, guy hiking the ball. You had to cross over that. And I'm like, that's not a good look. I mean,
yeah,
something very wrong with that.
Especially if you're coming like from the rear. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
in the ready position. On the Raiders side of the ball, they've got some issues besides Devontae wanting out. Our guy Minshew, the porn star, he gets benched for Aiden O'Connell.
Who is Aiden O'Connell?
He was their quarterback last year, wasn't he?
You sound like Pedro Martinez. Who is Aiden O'Connell? Remember Pedro Martinez? Who was that player he was saying that about? I don't remember who it was.
I just remember him saying, "Yeah, the Yankees are my daddy."
Yeah, Yankees are my daddy.
It was Karim Garcia. That's who it was. It was a bench player for the Yankees who said something about Pedro, and Pedro's like, "Who is Karim Garcia? Who is Aiden O'Connell?" The Raiders are going to, I think, trade deadline. They're going to go after a quarterback.
If they're smart,
and he become available, and you might see Russell Wilson. I think the Steelers are going to shop Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I doubt very much unless Fields gets severely injured that Russell Wilson's going to see the playing field.
Yeah, I mean he's listed as a backup this week, but
yeah,
I mean
Russell Wilson has it made no matter what happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't know.
Money wise, he has it made, and 2, he gets to go home to Sierra.
I know that was coming next.
But you made the same point about Deshaun Watson. He's got money coming. Like, how much motivation could he have? I don't know.
Well, his contract is up after this year.
Yeah, I got it. Yep.
So, and if he ever wants to start in this league again, he's going to need to go out on the field and show that he's still got it, because the rep that came with him from Denver, Denver is paying for him to play for Pittsburgh.
Yep.
That's right.
Steelers are paying $1 million of that 38. So, that's like when a team ditches a guy like that, that sends a bad signal. So he's got to get back out on the field and prove that Denver was an aberration. It just was a bad fit. And I don't know if he's going to get that chance. If Fields keeps playing as well as he is, the trade deadline is 3 weeks away. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. That's a good one.
Yeah. The game that killed Edson.
Yeah.
The 49ers are, I mean, let's say about Brock Purdy, first of all. Brock Purdy's not the problem. He's playing really well.
No, he was not the problem of this.
What's with their defense? They're blowing leads at the end of games a lot this year.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just this particular game, I could chalk it up. It's a division game, and you always never know what happens when in a division game because they're always like crazy. But I have seen other signs from other games of where they get out in the lead. Although we saw on Thursday they seem to have like overcome that, but against Seattle a couple of days ago. But this game was very, I don't know. I want to say it's just like a game that you can throw out, but I saw some really bad kind of habits from the 49ers in this game.
Yeah.
One thing that really impressed me about that game is Kyler Murray, when he went around in for that touchdown, he was moving. I mean, he was.
Yeah, he's good.
He showed some speed. I'm like, where did that come? I know he's had it, but he's been hurt a lot, but like, watch this. I can do it now.
Yeah, I think he's a solid quarterback. I think the only problem with his game in general is his size. It makes him injury prone. He gets a good lick on him, and other than that, I think he's got a great arm. I mean, he plays to the final whistle over and over. I mean, how many Hail Marys and final plays and the years, his effort is always there. I just think part of his problems is physical size, but. The Cardinals are a team, and I said this at the beginning of the year. They're going to surprise some people and be more competitive.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this.
Yeah. And I think they're well coached. I like Gannon, and I think that he's going to turn this thing around. He's still getting production out of James Conner. Their receiving core is not too shabby, especially with
Marvin Harrison Jr. That's all you have to say. He is. He is so good.
Bruce, what can you tell us about your team here?
Oh, yeah.
Rule number one, don't throw the ball from your 3-yard line going backwards.
That was bad.
Don't do that.
What the? I thought, what I thought happened? I thought they made a trade for Will Levis and put him in for that one play. That looked like a Levis and Butthead throw right there.
Catch the ball. Here, catch it.
Oh, maybe Jordan Love was studying him when they played the Titans.
Throw that game out. They were showing Love what not to do, and he thought they said this is what to do. He misinterpreted.
Timeout before the play. Okay, let's go for the Beavis and Butthead play. I can do it, Coach. I can do it.
That was horrible, man. Take the safety. 2 is better than 7.
Yep. I mean that kind of made this game make it look closer than what it was most of the game. And I can't believe this, but, which I know they have injuries all over the place, but I was thinking that they were going to be pretty competitive for playoffs in the beginning of the season, but they could easily be 0-5 because the one win was against that crazy game against San Francisco where they were down by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and somehow pulled that off. And wow, I don't know.
The only thing I'm worried about with my Packers, I mean, their interior line is okay, but I'll tell you, we got a good secondary. Yeah. I like our secondary a lot. Now, I think Alexander has got an interception in every game. He's on pace for 17.
Love still doesn't have his feet under him yet. I don't.
Right, that's very true.
He still looks not quite settled in, but I mean, by the time we get to the second half of the year, I think he'll be fine, barring any injuries. The Rams, I agree, Edson. This could be flipped. They could be 4-1.
Right,
if their team was healthy.
Yeah, if you
put Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua out there, who knows, right?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
So it's just a shame. It's just one of those years, and they might overcome. And I don't think they're going to make the playoffs now. 4 losses is tough. I mean, you got to kind of run the table now. You lose 7 and you're out.
But they might be one of those teams come, week 12 or 13 where someone's going to be like, I don't want to see that team coming. I don't want to play that team. You're going to ruin my chances. So
absolutely.
If they get all their players back. And then In the NFC North, this is not a question for this week, but just keep this in mind for the weeks ahead. Who in that division is not going to make the playoffs?
Well, that's true. You might only get one team out of there.
Jeez.
Making the postseason.
Oh my God.
It's a log jam. I mean, you got the Seahawks and the 49ers are tied.
No, I was talking about the North. The who isn't
Oh,
going to
the
make
North.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Who isn't going to make the playoffs there?
Minnesota.
It's a disappointment, whoever it is.
Minnesota. Bruce is predicting a 12-game losing.
It's crazy.
No. There'll be 5, 11, and as my boy Edson would say, and 1. They always have to put the tie factor in there.
Speaking of teams nobody might want to see down the road, your New York Giants. Gang.
Oh.
They're playing pretty good ball all of a sudden.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be, if this was an aberration, but this was the first, it shocked me. This was another game that shocked me because
without Malik Neighbors, who to this point
without
their
Malik
whole
Neighbors.
offense, right?
But their offense actually looked like an offense.
Their offensive line is blocking better.
I don't know. Was Seattle having like
making plays?
Injuries? I don't know.
It's funny because I was listening to Phil Simms talk about the Giants yesterday, and there's a lot of stuff he talked about because I haven't really watched the Giants.
Yeah, me neither.
And he was shocking me with how solid they really are. This team could surprise some people. I'm not saying they're a playoff team by any stretch. Maybe they'll push for a wild card, but they're not as inept as it looks on paper.
Regarding that game,
yes.
What is the deal with the blocked field goal?
What's the
How many
deal?
yards behind did he get the blocker to get to block the kick? Would he start in New Jersey and ran through across the West Coast? Got to the game in time just before the ball was snapped, and they don't call that a penalty.
Well, it wasn't called a penalty because he didn't touch. If you use one of your own players to vault over the line, if you spring off, that's a penalty. He didn't touch him. He leaped over. That was another Palomalu kind of thing. He cleared the guy, and you can do that.
If you have the athleticism to do that, then you can.
Okay, I have a question. Here's another question for that. How many of us remember the Monday night game with Peyton Manning with that great comeback against Tampa Bay?
Which one? Oh, against Tampa Bay.
Oh, I remember that game.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember toward the end of the game? What was his name? What was the kicker's name?
Oh,
Vanderjack.
Yeah.
Mike Vanderjack.
He missed a field goal, but Derek Brooks was called for leaping, and he didn't touch anybody. Do you remember that play?
No.
I think I gotta go back and look at that. Maybe they changed something after that.
They must. Every year the competition committee changes these little tiki tacs.
Because the thing is, though, this one was so blatantly obvious, and if you look at that play, it's like Brooks didn't touch anybody. I remember Johnny Greer, the referee, calling leaping, and where everyone's like, "Wow, where's the leaping?" So if you guys, let me know what you think about that. But if you see that play, we'll talk about it next week. But it's like a very uneven call to me. It was very, very uneven.
The only thing I can suggest is the competition committee changed the rules at some point over the years. Because there were a lot of guys that would like jump on a player's back and do that. Like they'd jump on a lineman's back.
That's obviously a penalty.
And that's cheating. But I mean, hey, you know what? Fair, illegal or not, the guy that's a phenomenal play.
That was a great play, but I just saw that play before. I'm like, what happened here?
Right. The Sunday night snoozer that started almost 2 hours late, which worked for me because my flights were delayed. So I actually got to watch this, like the whole game on my plane.
Oh my gosh.
And I got upgraded to first class, which was great. So I had a nice big screen to watch it on. Boy, was I sad at the end, man. The guy sitting across the aisle was like, dude, I was watching your face. I'm sorry. He was a Packers fan, and he said, I'm really
good job. Good. Right on, brother.
He's like, I thought they had it. And I'm like, no, it was a boring game. It was a boring game. Nobody could really move. The Cowboys were moving the ball up and down the field, but Prescott being Prescott was turning it over all the time. And the Steelers
Yeah, Cowboys said it's like he practically gave them games. So here, Merry Christmas early. Here,
because
you
Mike
want this?
Tomlin wants to get in rock fights every week instead of letting the offense spread the field, stretch the ball down the field. He just wants to slog it out and win by a field goal, and it's not the way you play. That's the way you played 30 years ago, not now.
Right. He was. I mean, the thing that makes me so crazy about Tomlin is with Roethlisberger had the confidence he could spread the ball all over the place. And
Well,
Tomlin
Ben wouldn't
probably
listen to anybody either. Ben would call his own. He'd go out there and he'd call an audible and do what he wanted. Don't forget, Tomlin inherited Ben Roethlisberger. So he had very little, I don't want to say control, but let's say influence.
Oh, okay. I know that.
Over the way
I
Ben
know that.
played. He walked into, a Ben Roethlisberger hitting his prime. Now the team, when Ben retired, the team became completely under Mike Tomlin's control. And ever since Roethlisberger left, they just want to slog these things out as ugly as possible. He plays the game between the 20s. It drives me nuts.
The one concern I have for the Steelers is because up till now their strength has been their defense, and now last week you saw they had problems with Indianapolis, and this week, as you just said, the Cowboys did move the ball up, and I mean there was 400 plus yards. So I'm a little bit worried. They were very opportunistic in that they made those plays when they had to, the interceptions, the strip fumble, but.
Oh, they let that guy dawdle all the way down the field.
Yeah. I'm worried about them if their defense isn't going to, play that. Their offense really hasn't caught up. So who knows now.
Yeah, and going into the game this week, and we'll talk about it when we preview Week 6. But they're down to one pass rusher, TJ Watt. Highsmith's out, and they lost Herbig, and they're kind of beat up on the defense. So, and the last game of the week.
I couldn't believe this. It's like the Saints they didn't show up.
I was so disappointed. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of this. And when I did start watching it, I was so pissed off. I turned it off. I expected the Alvin Kamara show, and it just didn't happen. And the Saints, they scored 90-something points in the first 2 weeks and have lost every game since. So, Paper Tiger. Screw you, Saints. You screwed me. I'm never picking you again. Fuck off.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ask you to do one thing and beat the stupid walking wounded Chiefs, and you can't even do that.
Now the Chiefs got their bye week, and they're going to get healthy. Oh, gosh.
I know. And they're going to make a trade for a receiver.
Oh, yeah.
You know it's coming. They're going to end up with Amari Cooper or Devontae.
And God forbid, Tyreek Hill's probably not happy over there.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't think of. Oh, he's probably calling. He's calling Patrick.
He probably is.
Hey,
well, apparently on his social media this week, he put up all these highlights of him in a Chiefs uniform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I said it once. I'm going to say it again. And Keith, I apologize. If I see one more effing Taylor Swift sighting at a game, I'm going to throw something through the TV.
I know. I'm with you. All right, on to Week 6. We cannot pick the Thursday night game because it already happened.
Oh, damn.
I know this being Saturday because I take San Francisco.
I had San Francisco as my first pick.
Keith, what happened to that game you wanted to play?
We'll do it after we do our picks.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's quickly make our 5 picks of the week. Who wants to go first this week? How about Bruce? He went 4-1. Come on, Bruce. You go first.
Okay. First off, it's time for the dreaded shout-outs. I apologize in advance.
Oh, okay.
Okay. No, shout-outs are good.
Okay, shout-outs. Okay, I got to write this down. 53 minutes. Okay, first off, I have to say, boom. Have to say hi to my number one fan, Jake. Hey, Jake, how you doing? Wow, and these shout-outs are brought to you by Pioneer Aviation and Wells Fargo. That's all I have to say.
When are the royalty checks coming?
And that's next week.
Oh, okay. So who do you got?
That's all I got to say is traffic.
Yeah, you got that Rust Belt or not the Rust. Yeah, the Beltway.
You remember John's video? We're on the road to nowhere. That song that was played in the background.
Yeah, Talking
There
Heads.
you go. There
Yeah.
you go. Okay, my picks. Now you're gonna be freaked about one of them.
All right, what's your first one?
Okay, this is easy. Baltimore over Washington.
Okay, well, don't do them all. We'll do one at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, Baltimore over Washington.
Okay.
All right, Edson.
I'm gonna go. I know we talked how the Bears are improving, and I think they're still continue, but I'm gonna go because it's a really away game.
Yeah, they're back in UK, right?
I'm gonna go with Jacksonville in this against over the Bears because Jacksonville seems to own the. They always do well overseas.
It's a home game for them. They're
for
there
them.
all
It's a
the
home
time.
game.
Yeah,
aren't they there next week too?
I think they are there next
2
week.
weeks. They're next week. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that last week was not an aberration for Jacksonville, and
they're in the UK next week against New England,
and I hope they'll win the close game against the Bears. I mean, it's a little worried. I mean, obviously they're the underdog, but from their history of overseas, I'm going to go with them over the Bears.
Nice. I like that pick, Edson. Well, I have a duplicate. It's not the top my first pick of the week, but I'm also with Bruce. I think Baltimore over Washington. I was struggling with this. I wanted to pick this game, and I was thinking the Redskins might go in there and upset them because how potent their offense is. However, I don't know if their defense has an answer for Henry and Jackson. And I don't see it in Justice Hill. Mark Andrews had a great game last week. That means more trouble. So I'm also Baltimore over Washington.
That's going to be, I think this sounds like a very cliche-ish. That might be Jaden Daniels' coming out party.
No, I expect him to play really well. I just don't think the Washington defense has an answer for Baltimore.
Oh, that's very true because you're right. That's a great point. That's a fabulous point because Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, I mean, they can run up and down the field.
And so can Washington.
Yeah, but the defense, that's the key word. You're exactly right. The key word is defense.
And Baltimore's defense is not playing great by any stretch, but they are better than Washington's defense.
Right, and they always play great at home.
Yeah, in their home, right. Okay, Bruce, who's your second pick?
Oh, wow. Let me see. Green Bay over Arizona, just because I think Arizona pulled one out of there behind last week.
Yeah.
I just love how you pick your own team every week. That's awesome.
I picked Pittsburgh last week and see what happened to there.
I know. The first time I picked my own team, I'm done. I'm done. Never again.
You're not going to give the spiel again? Like, I can't stand this team.
Oh, don't worry. Edson's heard it. It'll be coming.
Yeah, I think Green Bay, they're playing at home. I think Love's going to have his legs underneath him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona won, but I'd be upset.
Oh, you should be.
I like that pick. Yeah,
that's a solid pick. Edson?
Well, I'm going to hope. I know this is second week in a row, and I'm hoping this starts a season long where we all agree on a pick. So I do have also Baltimore. I know Houston was the one last week that we all picked, so we're doing okay. We're 1-0. Let's see how we do as a trio.
Three-headed monster. All right.
I also think I'm really looking forward to this game. I hope it's a really good game. And I actually don't think, I believe the spread is like 7 points, and I think that's too high of a spread actually. But I think Baltimore will win, but I don't think they're going to cover this.
I agree. If we were playing with points, I would have taken Washington.
Yeah,
that's way too much. Way too much. All right, so I think we're going to be all in. I have a softball game at like 10:30 in the morning tomorrow, Sunday, but they're forecasting rain.
Oh, okay.
I kind of want it to rain, although it'll push the playoffs a week, and then I won't be able to play in the playoffs. But if it rains, I can get to the sports bar. Because my team plays at 4, I could go early and watch this. Yeah. Because I don't think this game's going to be local to us, unless maybe it is. But I really want to watch this Ravens Washington.
Yeah, me too.
All right, my next pick. You're going to be shocked at this. hold on to your hats. I'm taking the New York Jets to beat Buffalo at home on Monday Night Football because, and here's the sole reason why. A lot of times when you make these coaching changes, the team comes out fired up and they want to win for the new coach and the new regime. And I just have a feeling, and then the way Josh Allen looked last week, I think he's still slightly concussed. And I don't know. I just think the Jets are going to just punch him in the face. I just have a feeling. You know, I always go out for one of these crazy upsets every week, and this is the one. So, Bruce?
Brother, you said you must have read my notes. Those are the exact same reasons I picked the Jets, too.
Really?
Yes.
I don't
feel I told you to be freaked out about one of those choices because, one, they're playing at home, which is sort of like an advantage, but new coach,
sort of,
sort of,
maybe possibly. They played Buffalo very well. New coach, wanted to show off Monday night, and Aaron Rodgers and say, "Okay, the lights are on, but just don't give him the American flag to run across the field." The last time they played the Buffalo Bills at home, but New York Jets defense is not bad. It's not bad at all.
No, it's not. Can you imagine if they had this on Reddick?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And do you think he comes back now that the coaching staff has changed?
That's a good point. Maybe he'll sign something today. You never know. But that's all those reasons. You're exactly right because they gotta look good on Monday night because as much as we don't like to admit it, New York is the brand. And it's like you have to look good and you're doing a standalone game. You have to look good at that. And Aaron Rodgers has something to prove now.
I agree.
And that's why I told people at work, I said, the Jets are going to beat Buffalo. They're like ready to admit me to the hospital. And I told them the reasons. They're like, So I'm taking the Jets also.
All right. Jets at home in Jetropolitan Stadium. Edson.
Right.
Staying in the prime. Well, no, it's not a primetime game, is it? No. Okay, never mind. It's not a primetime game, but I know the Cowboys were like undefeated last year at home, but the Packers have started that slide, and I'm going to continue the slide. I think Detroit's going to beat them this week. We didn't talk about this, but I think I remember bringing up bye weeks. There were bye weeks last week.
There were. I was going to admit my error. You know
Detroit,
why?
Was one.
They
of
used
them.
to on NFL.com. See, like under the Monday night game, they used to put teams on a bye. You know where it is now?
Oh gosh.
All the way down here.
There it is.
Wow.
So that's why I missed.
Oh no, I was wrong. Detroit was. Oh no, okay.
That was last week.
Detroit was last
week.
week.
Detroit had a bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
so we have 5-0
Swift,
teams on a bye this
week. The
week.
Chiefs are on a bye this week. You don't have to look at Taylor Swift for a whole week.
Yeah. There you go, Bruce. Yeah.
Or the Vikings. You don't have to watch the Vikings either. How do you like that?
Wow, Christmas comes early.
This weekend. Yeah. I mean, the Cowboys defense is decimated at this point. I don't know how they're going to stop the Detroit offensive line and running game. I don't even think Goff has to do much this week, but so I'm going with the Lions.
Well, we have an overlap because I also have written down here the Detroit loins over the over the Dallas Cowgirls. Yeah, because there's no beating Goff. Bruce, who do you got for your fourth pick?
Trifecta, baby. Detroit over Dallas.
Wow.
Okay. So now I'm worried.
Wow.
Now I'm scared. I'm scared now.
Now I'm worried about
this. Is funny because when we first, like the first week, we all had different games, and now we're starting to overlap more and more.
Well,
I mean, the schedule this week kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a lot of layups, and I don't want to take the easy ones, So I look for one that's going to be sort of competitive.
Oh, Edson, backtracking, the line for the Baltimore Redskins game is 6.5 as of right now.
Wow. Okay. I thought it was 7 at one point.
I think it was a couple days ago. Yeah.
But 6.5 is what's the biggest line this week?
Maybe the Eagles and Browns or
I think you're right because I think it's 9.
Falcons, Panthers.
Oh, maybe that too.
Yeah, Philadelphia is favored by 9.5.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? You're Jimmy Haslett. You own the Browns. You pay $250 million guaranteed to Deshaun Watson to come in and save your franchise. You trade Baker Mayfield and a shitload of draft picks to Houston, who've rebuilt their team with them like overnight. And now you're a 9.5 point underdog to the Eagles, who are struggling.
Who are struggling. Yeah.
Eagles are getting healthy. Eagles are getting healthy. That's the thing. I was listening to Cowherd yesterday. He said the Eagles are getting healthy, and all of a sudden, Dallas is going to look up and go, what are we going to do? Because Washington's good, and Philadelphia is always good. And the Giants are playing.
The Giants can do a lot of damage to the teams competing for playoff spots.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
okay.
Can you imagine 9.5? I love the Browns.
That's the biggest.
Browns, thank you for being in the league, Cleveland. I feel bad for the Cleveland fans. They're awesome fans, but come on, let's give it up for the Browns.
Yeah, plus the Eagles were also on a bye last week, so they got healthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Cleveland's playing the game like we used to watch game shows growing up. Thank you for playing. We have a lot of partying gifts for you. It's like on stage.
You get a microwave oven.
Week 5.
Thanks for flying out and spending all your money to come on this game show. You get a microwave oven and a gift.
Yeah, here's some Dinty Moore beef stew for you on the flight home.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Oh my gosh.
So you have Detroit as well. Edson, your next pick.
I cannot believe I'm going back to the well on this after getting hit twice with this team, but this will be my last one before I swear them off. And we've been talking so much about the Giants, and yet here I am picking the Bengals over the Giants, which I can only say I'm going to regret by next week. But I don't know. I it's one of those things where you see a record like 1-4 with the Cincinnati. And I'm like, I can't possibly see them going 1-5, but it could happen.
It could happen.
I'm still going to pick them.
Wow. That's
it's in I know the game's in New York, so it kind of goes against it. I just can't see Joe Burrow being 1-5, I guess, but it's a team sport, so who knows how that's going to backfire.
Gutsy call. I looked at that game and said, you know what? After listening to Phil yesterday, Phil Simms kind of opened my eyes to the Giants. If I didn't hear that, I would have said yes, I would have been with you. But after hearing that, I'm like, I'm just going to stay away from that game. My fourth pick, I'm going with the flying Baker Mayfields, baby. Tampa Bay over the Saints, especially because the Saints just hosed me.
For Keith's real reasons, for not picking the Saints, go back 25 minutes.
He's like, now we're turning into something personal with our picks. That's where things are going to go derailed.
Dennis Allen can suck it. I think Mayfield, after what happened against the Falcons on that Thursday night game 10 days ago.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's going to be a little salty this week. He's going to want to go back out there and stick it up somebody's, and it's a divisional opponent that they can kind of put in the rearview mirror. Tampa Bay wins their 4-2. The Saints are 2-4. That kind of, shifts the power balance. Then, it comes down to Tampa Bay against the Falcons probably pretty much for the division. So, yeah. Baker Mayfield. Bruce, you're fifth.
Philadelphia over Cleveland.
Wow.
Okay.
This is a FU game for Philadelphia. I think they got everyone back, and Cleveland is just like, can we go home now, please? I know we haven't won at home yet, but can we still go home, please? I hope Baker Mayfield lets the stadium open. Can we please go home, please?
Yeah.
Well, I just don't understand. Keith, here's a comparison for you, since you're since you guys are both since you guys are both big baseball fans. It seems like Cleveland's got the Bobby Bonilla syndrome. No matter what happens, they have to pay him. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. But worse in football, it counts against your salary cap.
Yeah,
in
that's the
baseball, you
problem.
just pay it.
Oh, I know.
Because
Okay.
baseball doesn't have a salary cap, which is why you have the haves and the have-nots. I.e., Yankees and Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, this is going to hamstring them because they can't afford other players. This is the anti-Tom Brady contract. Tom Brady used to go in, they'd say, Tom, we want to pay you $25 million. He's like, no, I don't need that much. Use it on other guys. Deshaun Watson took the money and ran, and he just screwed that team into a.
Yeah, he ran off the field.
It's going to be great for the next 5 or 6 years. They're going to be awful, and they can't do much about it. Because even if they pick top 10, let's say they pick a number 1 overall, quarterback or wide receiver or offensive lineman, they got to pay top 10 money to that guy, and they're not going to be able to. This is great. I mean, as a Steelers fan, this is, as you said, Bruce, Christmas comes early.
Yes, indeed.
Thank God for the Browns. Edson, who do you got for your last pick?
Okay, so I waited until my last pick for this because now I'm going head to head against you guys, and I totally get the reasons about the Jets, but I'm going with Buffalo, and I'm actually a little. I get that the whole coaching change usually is a big plus for the team that changed, at least for that following week. I'm worried that their strength, which is the defense, is going to suffer for this because now you got their defensive coordinator who was solely responsible for now he's got these head coaching duties, so he's got to take something away from there. Salah, who's also a big part of that defense, is gone. So I don't know how that's going to go well. You might not even see it this game, but as the season goes by, you might see a deterioration or decline of that defense. And it's like I don't know. Buffalo started off 3-0, and now they're going to lose 3 in a row. I don't know. I don't see it. The only thing that does worry me a lot is what you said about if Josh Allen, if they're hiding something, and he's definitely still suffering from that. This will just throw my whole pick away, but so I'll get hit with that one. But I think if he plays and he plays relatively well, like 80% of himself, I think Buffalo will win.
Wow. Well, you know what? I picked it as my upset, so I kind of think you're right, but I'm just hoping that you're wrong.
I mean, it is in New York, and the last year they did lose.
Yeah,
there. So
right.
I mean, last year, if you remember, the Bills were 6-6 at one point.
Yeah, true. That's true.
And people were starting to write them off, and then they got hot and squeaked in. So, for them, if they end up 3-3 after this, I wouldn't be shocked. No, I kind of thought they were going to have this kind of year going in. If you go back to our preseason picks,
I wouldn't be shocked either. Yeah, you're right.
All right, my last pick. I'm a big fan of 2 quarterbacks right now in this league, Jaden Daniels, and the other guy is C.J. Stroud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I always have the upset, which was the Jets, and I always have the layup, which is Houston going into New England and pasting the hapless Patriots.
I mean, that would be my biggest
Drake
shock.
May. Drake May is getting his first start.
Yep.
He's got to go against that defense. Like, they're feeding him to the wolves. Do you know the Texans have the top-rated quarterback pressures this year? They're the top team in quarterback pressures, and they're putting a rookie quarterback in there against that. Sayonara. What is it? Farewell and adieu to you, dear Spanish ladies. Farewell to you, ladies of Spain. Bye, Patriots. You're going to get smacked.
Hold on. I got Steve Grogan on the phone. He wants to know who
Wow.
There's a name for you. All right. Are we ready?
No.
I'm ready. Now I'm nervous. Here we go.
The quick. So remember, it's yes, no, true, false, or one sentence. Like, I can see this happening, but no elaboration. We'll go right through. All right. And I'm going to make a lot of these. A lot of these I've thought about in advance, but some I'm just going to wing. All right, here we go. The Buffalo Bills win the AFC East.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The New York Jets miss the playoffs.
Wow. That's a good one.
Yes, because
I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
You want to say something, Bruce? You can say something.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'll say yes. Same old Jets.
Tua, how do you say his last name? Tagovailoa.
Because his brother
I-
plays down here at University of
Yeah,
Maryland.
does not return this year.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no. I think he's gonna give it one last try. Might not see him next year.
Drake May leads the Patriots to 5 wins, exceeding their Vegas pick.
Yes.
No, I actually don't see the Patriots winning 5 games.
The Baltimore Ravens are the AFC representative in the Super Bowl.
I didn't think so, but I'm gonna say yes now.
I'm gonna say definitely.
Russell Wilson ends up the starter in Pittsburgh.
Russell Wilson will not see the playing field in Pittsburgh.
Can I say maybe?
Yeah, you can say maybe.
Maybe.
Jameis Winston ends up the starter in Cleveland.
For sure. I don't see Watson playing out the whole year. Yep.
Yes.
The Cincinnati Bengals trade T. Higgins at the trade deadline.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a good one because of the whole contract. I'm going to go with no because they still have the window open.
I'll say no also.
Okay. The Houston Texans make it to the AFC Championship game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think so.
I think so also. CJ Stroud.
Anthony Richardson returns and leads the Colts to a wild card.
It's a kind of, for me, it's a yes, no. Richardson does return, but they're not going to go and make a playoffs.
I don't think so.
All right.
This is good. This is really good. Wow.
Mason Rudolph takes the starting job from Levis and Butthead.
Well, at any time or this week or
during the season. Yeah. He takes over as starting quarterback.
Yeah, I believe that will happen.
Yes. Unless Myles Garrett has a helmet that needs to be hit upside the head.
Wow. Okay.
Whoa. Do they play Cleveland? We got to look at that.
I'm looking it up right now.
Look it up for, yeah. Okay. The Jaguars slump so badly that Christian Kirk is traded at the trade deadline.
Oh, jeez. That's
wait, I'm going to do an or Travis Etienne. One of the two.
No.
I think. Well, when's the trade deadline again?
November 5th. It's quite a day. It's election day.
I think that will happen.
You do?
One of those two. Yep.
Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs fail to make the AFC Championship game this year.
Well, I'm going to have to go with yes because of based on two previous questions. I have
These
to.
are all hypotheticals. They're not tied together.
I don't. I mean, I know it kind of goes against what we. Yeah.
No.
So you have them in the championship game, Bruce. Sadly.
No, because the NFL wouldn't let that happen.
Okay. Well,
I think the NFL wants their first three-peat, to be honest with you, and that's why they're getting all the calls. And
I'm sure they do want that.
They want that story, yeah. With Swift and all that, they just want
to see her in the Super Bowl. How much are the ratings going to be?
They want to capitalize on all of it because they're money grubbing whores. Bo Nix leads the Denver Broncos to a surprise wild card berth.
No.
I actually think that will happen, yes.
Wow, look at that. This is cool. All right, I like this. Isn't this fun? I told you it'd be fun. The Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers.
This is one I got to come up with.
Okay.
Here.
Yep. I'm gonna say disappointing.
I'm gonna say what question can I come up with for the Chargers? They're just so bland so far. Justin, here we go. The Chargers will make a move for a wide receiver at the trade deadline.
No, because of Harbaugh. Harbaugh doesn't.
I definitely agree with that because of the same reason.
The Raiders pull a classic Mark Davis-led Raiders move and send Davante Adams to the Chiefs.
Oh gosh. I have to say no because that would invalidate like 4 of my previous answers. No.
No, Al Davis.
Well, Al can't.
I'll have to show up outside his house and somehow get past security and just.
I just have this vibe because the Raiders are stupid. Although Antonio Pierce isn't, he would probably put his foot down. So you can't do that.
No, it's not going to happen.
Jaden Daniels and the high flying, what did I call him? The Redskin
Promote the Redskins.
Commando skin football team wins the division.
Yes.
The Dak Prescott error-filled Dallas Cowboys in their lone gun offense misses the playoffs.
I have to definitely say yes because I thought that in our preseason show. Yep.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts and the Eagles get it together and run the table.
What does run the table mean?
That they'd win like the next 12 games.
Oh no.
No.
No way. They got way too many plot problems.
Yeah. The surprising New York Giants make the wild card.
No.
I think they are surprised. They will be surprising, but no.
Sam Darnold realizes who he is, and they don't win the division. They make the playoffs, but they don't win the division.
That's a good. I actually think that's true. I think he's on pumpkin watch.
Pumpkin watch. I love it.
Pumpkin watch. Edson, can I borrow that, please?
Go right ahead.
That's fantastic, Edson.
That's beautiful. No.
I think that's a really good. That's like perfect NFL that would happen.
Pumpkin watch.
that they don't win the division, but still make the playoffs.
Since there's no beating off, the Detroit Lions are the NFC representative in the Super Bowl.
No.
I'm going to say yes.
The Green Bay Packers win the division.
Definitely.
No.
Edson, you can't play.
Although I might eat those words because there's a great chance they would.
There's only 3 wild card spots, and the Bears grab the third one, making all 4 teams in this division playoff teams.
Oh, that's what I was talking about. Like, who was not going to miss the playoffs in this? And I'm going to go. Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to go with yes. Much as I hate the Bears, I'm going to go with yes because they'll find a way.
Wouldn't that be something? Has that ever happened before? I don't think it's happened, and since they've made these 4 divisions in each conference, that a whole division.
I don't think so either.
It's come close. I know there were like 3 from the AFC North one year. It was the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens. Actually, was Cincinnati in that year too? Maybe that did happen. I don't know. Worth a look.
I don't remember that ever happening, but
we'll look it up right now.
Kirk Cousins fails to finish the season.
Oh.
No, he's playing out of control.
I agree with you, but I'm going to say yes because I think he's going to get injured.
That was my point. He's a potted plant.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the NFC South.
Yes.
The NFC title?
No, South. The South. The division. No. Okay.
Kirk Cousins.
Spencer Rattler has a great game for the Saints and ends up the starter over Derek Carr.
Oh. I'm going to say no simply because I don't know enough about him, but wouldn't be surprising.
No.
The Carolina Panthers win 3 games this year or more.
3 or more. Okay.
3 or more.
Yes.
Actually, I'm going to do a bonus with the Carolina Panthers. Does Bryce Young ever start an NFL game again as a quarterback?
No.
Like, name the starter, not as an injury replacement.
Right. I know what you're saying. I'm going to say yes, but not necessarily for the Panthers.
Agreed. I agree totally with that. That sounds reasonable.
Christian McCaffrey does not play this year for the 49ers.
Oh,
that's a tough one.
I think he'll make it back on the field. No,
I don't think so. I don't think he will. I
think he will play this year. Yep.
Wow, got a double Achilles.
I get it.
Geno and the Seahawks win the division.
No, I've seen way too much, too many problems the last few weeks.
No. They lost 2 games they should have won.
Boy, let's see. Kyler Murray. Let me think. The Cardinals is another team I didn't have anything for.
Okay.
Kyler Murray gets the Cardinals to 500 this year with Marvin Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And the Rams trade people away. They become sellers at the trade deadline because their season is in the tank.
I don't think they want to give the season up yet, even if how bad they are. But so no.
SoFi.
SoFi.
I like that reason. SoFi.
Because it's a brand new stadium and they got to fill seats.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. I was thinking more McVay does not want to give up.
And McVay is too good of a coach to do that.
That's an excellent point, Bruce, because the fans are so fair weathered out there.
That is very
front runners that you're right. They got to sell tickets. And if they start giving players away, like if they trade Cooper Kupp or something at the trade deadline, that'll empty the place out. So yeah. All right. Was it that was kind of fun, right?
That was fun. That was a good idea. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I like when they do that on Pittsburgh radio. So
okay. Yeah.
They usually do that when they have a sports writer come on. They hit them with like 10 questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm like, I'm going to do that. Let's do that on our show once in a while.
That's a good idea. I got to try to come up with more ideas like that.
And you were scared, Bruce.
Ask Keith to show you the picture I sent to him. It was either that Richard Pryor looked like.
Oh yeah.
I sent him that picture.
I think that was on our group. I think it was on our group text.
I saw that. I saw that. That was great. Well, I agreed with you with that reaction because I thought it was going to be a little bit different, like that we would have to come up with a word or phrase.
Oh, okay.
Team. And I had a bunch for a bunch of teams. I just didn't think I came up with every single team.
Well, you guys can feel free to do that too, so that I can once in a while. I don't have to be the one coming up with that stuff. But I think that was fun. Well, we're pushing up against 90 minutes. Another solid one in the books.
Maybe next week we can all ask ourselves who's on Pumpkin Watch.
Yeah, that's a good idea. As we get closer to Halloween, we'll have the.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna put on the Great Pumpkin right now.
Come up with our top 5 pumpkin watches.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Top 5 pumpkin watches.
That's a good. That's a Halloween theme. You're right. It's a Halloween.
I love it.
And after that, we'll do our top 5 turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
there we go.
That's even better.
Used to do Edson and I used to do our mid-season report card too. I don't know if we want to do that.
You already said that we should do the rankings in the.
Oh, we'll do the power rankings again. That's what we'll do.
That's
right, definitely.
Yeah, and we can also borrow from Perna, who did the bottom 10 power rankings.
I didn't even think of that. Okay.
Yeah. So that won't be
Okay.
hard. I mean, you got Patriots and the Panthers and the. Although there's some right now, you'd have to put like Cincinnati in there. You'd have
Oh,
to,
for
of course,
sure.
Browns, Miami. I
Miami.
think they'd all be, Pittsburgh. No, not
Well,
yet.
no, not
Pittsburgh's on the fence. They're getting close. They're falling into the middle of the pack. The Raiders.
the Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you can put the Giants into bottom 10 anymore, though.
Not anymore.
No.
I'm going to say I'll reserve that for after this week.
But the Saints have slipped down there.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. And the Rams. But yeah.
It's early. It's still early. It's only 5 games in. That's the thing.
Can you believe it's week
season.
6 already this week? Can you
What?
It goes by fast.
That means we did our preseason show 7 weeks ago already.
Yep. But you're right, Bruce. The NFL has a way to kind of bring everything else back up. So some of these teams are going to maybe do flip flops. So
Right.
Yeah, we've said it a couple of times that the margin between the good team and the bad teams is very small.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's a play here or there, or a player here or there that makes the difference. So, all right, I guess we should pack this. You got one more. You got one more thing?
No, we're right at the 1.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means.
Yes, I think no. Yes, the joyfulness is over. The joyfulness is over.
That's awesome.
Chris Powell, we miss you.
I will get your tag on the end too, Bruce. I'm working on it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Good luck with your picks, since we have a couple of them are overlapping. But
right,
Edson, objects in the rearview mirror may be closer than they appear.
much closer.
Yeah.
Just saw something just came across my screen, and I meant to mention this, and it just came across my screen. Did you all watch the end of the Dodgers Padres game?
I was sleeping last night. I had a 4:00 call yesterday, so I was 4 a.m. call.
Kike Hernandez was being interviewed by I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. Oh, he's being interviewed after the game for national television, and the question was, I'm trying to remember the exact question. The question was, what do you think about the San Diego Padres after beating them? What's your team outlook toward the Padres? And the report, Hernandez said, "Are we on the air?" I said, "Yes." "Are we live?" "Yeah." And he said, "Well, F them." And I'm like, whoa.
They are a mouthy team for a team that's done nothing. They are.
But I mean, it was just like the reporter's face is like, "Okay, Kike, nice interview, bye bye."
They really are pretty classless for a team that's accomplished nothing. The Padres, they really are. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But it was just like a bombshell. It was crazy.
Nice. All right, go Tigers.
All right,
go Tigers.
We'll catch all you next week.
Yes, I think.
All right, cool.
Yes, the joyfulness is over. The joyfulness is over.
Thanks for watching GeekTime TV. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure to check the little bell icon anytime someone from our network drops new content here. Want some GeekTime swag? Check out the merchandise available in the GeekTime TV store, linked in the channel description below. Share GeekTime TV with friends, and as always, thank you for your support. We'll see you soon.